A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Now, the Bucks and the Chiefs. Super Bowl 55. And even the most hardened, grizzled football vets are saying, yeah, this is the best matchup of all time.
How about that?
I've made a prediction that Tampa Bay will win by 7. I'm saying 7. Lynch, what's yours?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 12, and Tom Brady will be the player of the game.
A stomping, huh?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Lynch. I had no idea Lynch called it till just now.
Wow.
John Frenzy called it. Wow. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show, and welcome to what I guess would be the first day of the off season.
John Swami Lynch.
We got to get him the lid.
Yes.
John Swami Lynch. Welcome, everybody. Cold enough for you?
Oh.
Woo. It's episode number 416 of Canada's daytime sports talk show, The Six.
If the furnace goes out, which happened to me at 4:45 this morning.
Yeah.
The furnace goes out. It was actually Director Jordan that taught me, check the air filter if it's plugged up.
And was it?
Oh, yeah. And that was it.
Good for him.
Perfect.
I got a quick story for you before I jump into all of what we're going to get into here. Now, I'm bringing up YouTube Live. I was unable to share on Facebook. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm going to try and converse with you people as the show goes along as well as I can. But speaking of conversing, what is it, minus 54-ish?
With the wind chill, it's minus 54, 55 this morning. Just insanely cold. And when you get scared when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning and the furnace isn't working and the temperature's dipping like to 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the house.
It's not like we need a ton of how cold is it jokes or stories here, but I just want to tell you a little story. It is minus 46 with a wind chill right now, and for the American viewers, that's around minus 20-ish Fahrenheit. So, yeah, I say hi to everybody this morning. I'll get to your comments. But as I was leaving the house, Dupes, the mailman came by, okay? Obviously dressed like the abominable snowman. His eyelashes were frozen like little chunks of ice, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to talk. And I'd already had
the open door.
Yes. And I'd already had my car running a couple of times. There's something with my GMC Terrain from Capital Auto Mall that if you run the remote start twice, it won't run a third time.
I see.
So you got to go out and physically start it. I'd already run it twice.
40 minutes.
So I'm standing there. I got the door open. And can I say it again? The mailman wanted to talk in minus 46 degrees. Because I'm thinking, well, what the hell? He's thinking, I've been walking around all morning. I got a sweat built up, right? I just got out of the steam, man. I'm getting rid of all of that hotness from me as I stand here and talk to you about the Super Bowl, which is a lot of our topics here in the Quick Six are things that he brought up.
Yeah.
But I think it was a bit of a concern. This guy probably in his 50s, he didn't want to talk about the CFL. He didn't want to talk about the NHL. He wanted to talk about the NFL, the Super Bowl, and Brady should retire, and Drew Brees shouldn't. This is the conversation we're having in minus 46, just so you know, right in front of my house. Minus 46.
Unbelievable.
And I got the door of my Terrain open, so all that hot air that had been accumulated is coming out. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be that guy.
I got to go back to the steam now.
I know. But he just said Tom Brady's one hit away from being paralyzed. So why would he keep playing? I'm like, I just think he's addicted to the money. He wants to keep playing. And maybe that would have been a great poll question. Should Tom Brady retire? But anybody that's worked in sports for a long time and been around the athletes, if you can still play, you should play. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like Charleston Hughes, until they tell him you can't play anymore, you should play.
Yeah. And, you can never speak for everybody, but I'm sure the vast majority and likely everybody at some point in their post-playing career misses it. At some point they miss it. So if you can take another snap, if you can play another game, do it.
Do it.
And minus 46 Celsius is actually minus 50 Fahrenheit. The dials meet at minus 40.
It goes the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. From Eddie Benkowski watching from the Queen City. John Kirby in Edmonton says Tom's wife needs the money. I know you're joking, John, because Tom's wife has more money than Tom.
Yeah.
James Henderson in Manitoba says Jets Flames tomorrow. Pierre-Luc Dubois' first game. Lots of comments coming in here. But first, let's just take care of business. Coming up on the program today, TSN icon Dave Hodge, and I might add Hockey Night in Canada icon Dave Hodge. He was CBC powder blue blazer before any of these guys were even thought of. Big Dave Hodge fan here. He's coming up. And Bo Lokombo of the BC Lions, formerly by way of the Toronto Argonauts. Yes, we had some fun last night. It was the Super Bowl commercial that everybody was waiting for the RP show. Yes, Bo on the RP show, Bo Lokombo of the BC Lions. He asked to come on, as a matter of fact, and we're very happy to have him. We will get Bo Levi. Don't worry, we'll get him. YouTube comments, let's go. James from Morden, Manitoba says hello. Don Mitchell in Bahrain says congrats to the NFL GOAT. I'm just writing hi, sending it. Let's get the YouTube comments pumping here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, quick 6 show topics, please, Jordan. Enough lollygagging around here. Quick. So number 1, I guess we've been talking about Super Bowl 55. It was Tampa Bay 31, Kansas City 9, and yeah, I was happy. That's how the conversation started with a mailman. He said, what did you think of the Super Bowl? I said, I loved it. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I'm not saying I'm a Buccaneer jump on the bandwagon guy. I know 3, maybe 4 Buccaneers fans, and I'll give them all credit. 2 work at CTV. Derek Ryan, the general manager. Lee Jones, the CTV TSN. Yep. And I can't remember the third. Not very many Buccaneers fans around here. But Tom Brady fan here. And did the officiating cost the Chiefs? The Chiefs cost the Chiefs, but the officiating didn't help. I'm willing to go along with that. There was some iffy calls, but you see what people are saying on social media that the NFL wanted Tom Brady to win. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. Good enough game. Buccaneers were in control pretty much from the start, and it was going to be their day. So I enjoyed it as a Tom Brady guy. But if I had money on the Chiefs, if I was a Chiefs fan, I could see how they'd be very upset.
Oh, yeah. Completely upset. I mean, you can look at those calls and derailed a lot of their momentum. But, as Patrick Mahomes is running for his life and still making great throws, there was bad drops, no execution. He was hurried 38 times to Tom Brady's 5. It was completely lopsided. And, those penalties did play a factor in the game, for sure. But by no means did the Chiefs lose because of the officials, and you'll never convince me that they lost the game because of reffing. They got beat, and beat pretty bad in the football game.
They gave up 6 first downs via penalty, the Chiefs did. Some of those pass interference were a little iffy, but you know what? If that was a regular season game, I don't think you're complaining as much as you are once it gets to a Super Bowl. But those same calls are made in the regular season.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything out of line, I don't think.
No. They showed, Mahomes ran something like 450 yards, it dropping back, scrambling around, and Tom Brady, it was like 30. So it was completely one-sided. Tom Brady's passer rating was a Super Bowl record. He put up 100. This was kind of old man Brady's mantra in the playoffs, right? Was take care of business in the first half, and then manage the game and get to the finish line in the second half, right? 140 yards, 3 touchdowns in the opening half, got the game secured, and then it was drive the ball, run the clock out, make smart plays, and get to the finish line in the second half. It was the same thing against Green Bay. Did all his work in the first half, and then it was kind of hang on, just kind of be smart-ish. I know he threw the picks, but, take care of business in the second half. So, I mean, It was Tom being Tom.
Yeah, not too many people are saying it was a terrible Super Bowl unless you were a Chiefs fan or had money on it and lost. I'm trying to keep my mind on our business here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NFL. Viewer takeover is later on. How many times have I told people that? I know I've asked you to comment, and please comment, but I can't comment on everybody's in this particular segment. Point 2, The Weeknd at halftime, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I predicted that he would sing 5 songs. Up until recently, I thought it was a band. But I thought it would be 5 songs. It got around 8. It became a mismatch. The whole thing was a little weird. The House of Mirrors thing, what's going on here? Were they wearing underwear on their face? Were they social distancing in the House of Mirrors? So I finally kind of sat back with my wings and said, I'm just going to enjoy the music and not try to figure out what's going on.
It got better as it went along.
You think so?
For me, it got better as it went along. The House of Mirrors thing was weird. And so at the beginning, I'm like, this is it? For me, it's not about necessarily how it sounds or who it is. It's about, does it make you feel something, right? Is it a special moment? It just didn't give me that moment of making me feel something, anything special at the halftime show. So that's why it won't rank for me on any list of top halftimes, but it got better as it went along.
Mike Kelly, football coach. Can you put the comment up from Mike Kelly, coach watching in Bathtub Beach, Florida, or that area? Longtime CFL coach. 5-man protection with 2 backup tackles isn't a great idea unless your quarterback understands hot reads and number 15 doesn't. You can't improvise every play. No, Mahomes is under pressure all day. He looked not very Mahomes-ish. They're calling it the worst game of his career. Not a good time to have that. Moving along. Point 3, Dan O'Toole's rant Saturday on Twitter. Dan O'Toole from Jay and Dan let go last week, and he really let Bell Media have it for the Bell Let's Talk initiative and saying, now they fire me. It's not very good for my mental health, and he went on a string. It was sad to see. I know Dan. I really like Dan. I wish he'd bit his tongue. Is it going to hurt his future chances of employment? I don't think so, because he's very talented and he is a good person. If that means anything anymore, sometimes I wonder. And then Jay Onright on the first, what are they calling it now? The Jay Show?
Sports Center with Jay.
Yeah, and listen, he's just as good a guy. Those two are like literally brothers from another mother. I watched the monologue on Sports Center with Jay, and it was okay. He broke down. What's he going to say? He is in an incredibly tough spot here now, too. My guess, as I've told people, and your phone's been going off, my phone's been going off, my guess is they brought Jay in and asked him to take a pay cut, and he obliged, and he still has a job. I'm not sure that Dan O'Toole was even offered that pay cut. I don't know the ins and outs of this whole. It's just ugly. Everything's ugly in sports and media, and let's move on. There's nothing nice to be said about it other than that. Point 4, Edmonton's team name is down to a final 7. I see people have been writing in about it. Clark has a graphic on it. There's only one for me. There's only one, and you know what it is. Here's the final 7 names: the Evergreens, the Eagles, the Elkhounds, the Eclipse, the Elk, the Evergolds, and the Elements. Some of those are just ruby red rotten. The Eclipse sounds like a 14-year-old club volleyball team. The Evergreens? Really? We make jokes about DBs that are Evergreens.
Outside of...
It's the Elk. End of story.
Yeah. Outside of Eagles and Elk.
There's already an Eagles.
Were any of those on our bracket?
Not too many.
None.
No, it's bad. The Eclipse?
Yeah.
The Eclipse? Was Eclipse on here? Eclipse was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Element was. Not Elements, but Element.
It's the best of a bad lot. I'm moving on. Point 5. Glenn Suter on CKRM's Sports Cage on Friday. Let loose. The headline at 3downnation.com. Glenn Suter fires off at petty team officials spreading conspiracy theories. You got to go read 3downnation.com. So Suter, we all have a different take on that. We had a large socially distant staff meeting here before the show today, and everybody took something different out of what Suter said. Basically, Matthew Shinetti of TSN, sideline reporter, went on Edmonton radio and said he's getting text messages from CFL team officials that are upset that other teams aren't adhering to the gentleman's agreement with regards to spending to the salary cap floor. Well, for one, nothing's been said. It's all been a whisper about getting to the salary cap floor to avoid the tag of collusion. I don't know where to go with this. I guess like Glenn saying, we all need to get together for the betterment of Canadian football. It may not survive the pandemic. I'm not talking about the CFL. I'm talking about Canadian football may die if we don't all come together. And the foundation of trust is eroding. And I'm just like, yep. Suter is right about all of it. 100% Suter is right about that. I'll remind you that he is on a team rights holder radio station, so take that for what it's worth. I'm not saying he's lying about that or, what should I say, covering anything up. I don't believe any of that. Was he doing any of that? But when I heard there's a gentleman's agreement, I was like, it ain't going to work. So you actually think that everybody's going to come together in Canada for the betterment of the game, the sport, when they've been at each other's throats for 100 years? I first appeared on the radio working in the CFL in 1991. Nothing's changed since. The owners lined up in the 90s to screw each other over. That's why we lost Ken Austin in Saskatchewan, by the way. Kids, I'll tell you a little story. Every team privately owned had $1 million quarterback. Matt Dunnigan, Damon Allen, Tracy Ham, everybody but us. And here's Ken Austin, who's probably as good or better than all of them, going, all you can pay me is $200,000? I want out. So the Riders were shoveling money to all those teams across the country to pay for their $1 million quarterbacks with crooks of owners. Look it up. We're doing the right thing, and those guys are going bankrupt, and our team's going in the crapper. We're having to have telethons to pay for them. They're all screwing each other. Now, the owners now in the CFL aren't crooks. I don't believe that. I think they're upstanding businessmen, all of them. But they're not in it for the league. They're in it for themselves. Factions in Canadian football across this country, different organizations are at each other's throats. In the media, we've reached out trying to work with other media. No thanks, not interested. And you all of a sudden are going to start working together. All of a sudden. There's no way. So Suter was right. This is what needs to happen. We got to adhere to the gentleman's agreement. We got to stop sending text messages to the media because we're butthurt. None of it's going to happen. That's why I'm very fearful for the future of the league, because it's operated one way for 100 years. And just because Glenn Suter says so, they're going to change? Not happening.
It never has happened. And track record will prove it, right? Recent history will prove it. Think of every time you try and pull something like this off. It never happens. I mean, we do it all the time, right? Think about playing a board game as kids, playing Monopoly. You play a game of Risk. Look, don't attack me, and I won't attack you. And then what happens? You're weak all of a sudden. I turn my guns on you and take you out and win, right? Like, it just, It's not going to work. Not in a competitive business, right? In a competitive industry, in sport. You can't expect it. That's just blind romance.
I'm sorry. I like what Suter's saying. It's not going to happen. Anyways, this has been the warm-up. We didn't even get to point 6, which is NHL leftovers. Didn't even get to it. It was a big football weekend, obviously, but the winners on Sunday were Philadelphia, Detroit, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, Chicago, and Carolina. Torts is upset at officiating. Dave Hodge is lined up to join us next. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show, coast to coast on Game Plus TV Network in all 10 provinces in 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live. Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues. And you saw the buffet of topics in the Quick Six show topics. I invite you to write in your comments on Facebook and YouTube or the Prairie Mobile text line, Ray in the 6. writes in at 840-8777. He says, hey, Rod, I was sick of watching the Leafs pound the crap out of Vancouver Saturday night, so I took advantage of the AHL TV free weekend. I watched your Vegas Golden Knights affiliate play the Silver Knights. It was nice to see all the young kids and top prospects who should be playing junior. And how about TB12? In a word, wow. Thank you, Ray, in the 416. And actually, that's where we'll open up with Dave Hodge joining us today from the 6. Morning, Dave. Hey, I'm going to open up with you.
Good morning. It's
go ahead.
Sunny and very cold.
Not minus 46, I don't think, like it is here. But, Dave, I'm going to open
Sunny
with...
and somewhat cold.
I got you. The broadest question, what did you think of Super Bowl 55?
Well, the game was a dud, but it told a remarkable story that we have to enjoy, I think, just for seeing it unfold as it has. Whether you like Tom Brady or not is the same as whether you like Tiger Woods or not, Wayne Gretzky, Roger Federer. This guy has been and continues to be amazing. And the defense really won it for Tampa Bay, but they're not winning the Super Bowl without Tom Brady. And how many people, when he decided and New England decided that the time was up for Brady to be the Patriots quarterback, and Tom Brady said, I'm going to go to Tampa Bay and be the quarterback for the Buccaneers. How many people thought it would evolve like this? How many people thought it would wind up with embarrassment for Tom Brady and all of us saying, you know what, why didn't you do the smart thing in your 40s, retire with 6 Super Bowl rings, and be lauded as one of the greatest of all time? Wasn't good enough for Tom Brady, and that's why he's great.
Well, and I wonder where you fall on the Tom Brady thing. You said whether you like him or not. There was a TSN anchor this morning saying it's sickening how much he wins and this kind of thing. And I love the Gretzkys and the Michael Jordans because it's so heavy as the head that wears the crown, as they say, Dave. Like, it's not easy for them. And I don't think people realize that. Where do you fall on Tom Brady?
Well, I admire what he's done, as I say. I'll just give you a little history lesson. My hero growing up, I'm going back too far for many of your audience, I know, but was Johnny Unitas. And at the end of his career, he and the Baltimore Colts fell out of favor with each other, and he was traded to San Diego, and he lost his first game with the Chargers 38-0, and he retired a year later. Joe Namath, the hero of what I think is the most famous Super Bowl of all time, because I guarantee it is something that we'll never forget, was waived by the Jets and decided to sign with the Los Angeles Rams. Started 4 games, was benched, retired a year later. Both of them, Unitas and Namath, broken down, old quarterbacks that should have known better and retired in Baltimore, where Unitas is concerned, in New York for Namath. Tom Brady did it differently. And that was the story of last night's Super Bowl. Tom Brady proved everybody that thought he was making a mistake very wrong, and proved everybody that thought the Chiefs would win easily because their offense couldn't be stopped. Brady was part of proving that wrong too, because the defense, Tom Brady doesn't play defense, but Tom Brady had something to do with everything that Tampa Bay did right. And that was telling Tampa Bay that they were good enough to win, that they would win, and that they should play with that in mind. And that's what we saw. We saw a team confident, aggressive, and from the very start, even though they went down 3-0, didn't have any trouble at all winning a game easily. And that was a surprise. I mean, I don't know anybody that had thought that the game would be a blowout one way or the other. But that's what it was. And a Super Bowl that is over before the fourth quarter starts or earlier isn't a good Super Bowl. But it's a terrific story. I'll add one stat, and I assume it's correct because it's on Twitter. But out of Boston came a stat that said Tom Brady has played 344 regular season and playoff games. In the first half of those, which is 172, if I'm doing my math correctly, his winning percentage was .767. In the second half of his career, winning percentage .767. Now, apart from proving how consistent he is, that's one of those stats you can't make up. And those stats are going to change because he's coming back.
Yeah. Well, here's one for you, Dave. One guy that predicted a Buccaneer rout was John Lynch, the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame broadcaster from the Rough Riders. You know John Frenzy well. But I got to ask you this. I'm rare in the media. I have a right-wing, pro-business mentality. I wonder where I love the fact that the NFL was plowing through. They were going to play no matter what, and they accomplished it. Where are you on the fact that they just weren't going to take a knee for a virus and that they played?
I think you have to realize that these leagues are bound to try. I think where criticism can apply is if you think that they're not trying hard enough to be safe enough. We keep hearing that, I'll use the NHL for an example, that they are operating with an abundance of caution and safety for the players. I think they're operating with an abundance of hope. And that can cause problems. And I think it was true for baseball and, any sport. Basketball seems to have avoided some of the problems. Hey, can you please explain to me why no Canadian division, as I call it, the Canadian division, why no Canadian division games have been postponed?
Why they didn't do what? I couldn't hear you. Broke up.
Why no games in the Canadian division, as I like to call it, have been postponed because of COVID, and all of the NHL postponements have occurred in the other three divisions, which, granted, they include a lot more teams, but the NHL has to have some kind of explanation for that. Not that I think they would give it to us, but I'd love to hear one.
You just said it. It's the overabundance of caution, which has kept people safe in Canada. Trust me, I get it. And another old buddy of yours, Tiger Williams, I talked to him for an hour the other night, and Tiger is as right wing as they come. He says, you don't want to go to Arizona or California. You might get this thing. He goes, we're safer up here. Period. That's what it comes down to.
But it's still remarkable that, all of the postponements would come in the United States and none would come in Canada. I can get 80% of the postponements in the other three divisions and a few in the North Division. But I think it's hard to explain unless you're going to tell me that the 7 Canadian teams are doing things that the American teams are not doing. It boggles the mind, really. And as I say, if the NHL hasn't investigated this to find out, should we be doing things in the U.S. that they're doing in Canada? And if so, what are they? Then I'd be amazed. But as I say, I'd also be amazed that they tell you what they found out.
Yes, well, you know how that works. But I don't know. I talked to people in Winnipeg, Toronto, and Hamilton on the weekend. They're in complete, total lockdown. Restaurants aren't open, that kind of thing. And in America, they're rolling like normal. There's your answer.
Well, yeah, then the NHL would need to be stricter with the protocol with the U.S. teams, and taking glass out from behind the bench and talking about machines that would distribute the air better. If that's a good idea now, which I think it is, my dentist office had one of those. Air, I don't know what you call it anyway. It's got a HEPA filter or something. I'm not good with the technical names, but, enclosed space, and the ventilation is very important. Well, right from the start, that was necessary in a dentist's office. If the NHL decides now that it's a good thing and would help, then it probably should have been investigating that sort of an idea earlier. I don't know how much study was done to make sure that they didn't have all these postponements and that these problems would not occur. I guess it's easy to point fingers and say, you guys haven't done it properly. But you can't tell me that they said, well, it's inevitable. We're going to have 22, 24 games postponed or whatever. They surely were thinking they could do better than that, or, as I say, hoping.
Well, I've talked to those teams. I'm not going to say which one in America. It's a pain for them to remove their glass. They've already sold the tickets behind the net or behind the benches. So their complaint is that the health officials and NHL health officials are making it up as they go along. And I don't know that is an incorrect assessment by them. But unless you have a comment on that, do you want to talk about the Leafs? They got the Canucks again tonight. Is Toronto literally? Yeah, go ahead.
I'll give you the line of the day when you said removing glass would be a pain. But
sorry, thank you.
Anyway, jot that down. No, I think I think these 3-game series threaten to have everybody go. We're going to see in the third game of the Canucks versus the Leafs exactly what we've seen in the first two, except for the fact Wayne Simmons isn't there to score a power play goal because of a broken wrist. But the Leafs have embarrassed the Canucks. The Leafs are one of the best teams in the league. Pretty hard to compare when they're only playing 6 other teams all season long, but they have looked really good, and so have the Montreal Canadiens. I have a theory about the Leafs, since you want to talk about the Leafs, that and it involves Wayne Simmons, actually. I think the Leafs a year ago and in past years were looked at now. And the answer that would come to them would be nobody. We're going to go for this, and we're going to add a guy like Wayne Simmons, who is a guy that teams add when they think they've got a shot at winning the Stanley Cup. An otherwise fairly young team that can use a veteran who can do what he does. Not that if everything had stayed the same, that Wayne Simmons wouldn't have appealed to them. But I think the Leafs loved the division realignment and thought that they could win it, thought that they were favored, should be favored. I think there's little doubt that was the case. Anybody looking at it, who else are you going to favor to win to finish first in the North Division? So I think the Leafs are loving this.
I had Calgary, and they have not lived up to that. We got a lot of hockey to go. But it's been fantastic. And as you said, Leafs Canucks tonight. Dave, we have to run. As always, I appreciate the insight, the history lesson, and stay safe out there.
Okay, and Tom Brady doesn't bother me at all.
Good. That's 2 of us. The great Dave Hodge joining us. We're going to go to the full shot here. We got the Tom Brady bunny hug on the table. Do you want to hold that up?
Sure, absolutely.
Along with Andre the Moose there. Yep. There you go. Tom, TB12. We're keeping that up in the honor of Tom Brady today.
For sure.
Yeah, you can't even reach the photo with Tom. Anyways, we're late for a break. We got a sports update coming up and viewer takeover. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV across 10 provinces in 31 states on Game Plus Network. Also live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And I get the sense that everybody wants to talk. They want to weigh in on what went down over the weekend. And so we'll start viewer takeover early. But a sports update, Tom Brady threw 3 touchdown passes and 201 passing yards in a 31-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Brady was named Super Bowl MVP. Brooks Koepka scored an eagle on the 17th hole en route to a victory at the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open. Koepka entered the final round 5 strokes behind co-leaders Jordan Spieth and Alexander Schauffele. Listowel, Ontario's Corey Connors finished in a tie for 17th after shooting a 4 under 67 Sunday. Pierre-Luc Dubois. The French seem to say it differently than us squareheads, as the French refer to us, Anglophones. Did you know that? Pierre-Luc Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois. They say it differently than we do.
Yeah.
Almost sounds like a different person.
Right?
Anyways, he's finally practiced with his new team, the Winnipeg Jets. The 22-year-old center was acquired from Columbus last month, but he had to quarantine for 2 weeks due to Manitoba's COVID-19 regulations. Carolina Hurricanes edged the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-5 Sunday, but the game wasn't without some controversy. Carolina got a goal from Vincent Trocheck that was initially challenged by Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella for offside. The referees deemed it wasn't, handed the Blue Jackets a penalty for delay of game. Officials then reversed their original ruling and rescinded the remaining 45 seconds of the penalty, but didn't overturn the goal. Please discuss amongst yourselves. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room. They can handle all your food and fun needs. Visit their website at ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. I'm just checking the comments here. I don't know where to go. I guess stick with us. We are the hosts of the show here. And I'll go back and forth with the text line here. But there's a lot of complaining about the officiating in the Super Bowl. And then you see John Tortorella, like, he makes a really good point.
Yeah.
Did you see his point?
Well, I didn't watch his point about the officials, but I can see both sides of it. If you're on the side of the officials impacting the game and being a factor, or if you're not, I can wrap my head around both sides.
So here's my point on that. 2 or 3 of the last Blue Jackets games, officiating's come into question, and they've been screwed in each and every one of them. So the media last night, the media after the game said, John, what do you think about this latest? And he's like, I'm just going to wait to hear from the league. Because obviously they weren't going to call him in right after the game before he had his media. And then with the Chiefs last night and the questionable calls there and the pass interference, listen, was pro Brady, but I get where the Chiefs are coming from. Yeah, they had their own problems, their own after-the-play penalties, their own pre-snap penalties that hurt them. But they didn't need the officials jumping on them, too. And my point is this. At what point do you go with the officials' side? And I've talked to all those guys at length. They're like, hey, we're not perfect. We're at 97%. I get that. Human beings aren't perfect. But what Tortorella said yesterday, actually it was the second last game, and I've been saying it for years, we have all the technology. So there's no excuse. You take that human element aside. It's black and white when you're slowing it down frame by frame by frame. My point is this. Do we just shrug our shoulders and go, that's football, or that's hockey? Or do we need to continue to put heat on the officiating head offices and the refs themselves, because it is costing games and costing championships? I lean towards, you know what, you just got to get over it. But it's very hard when you are the one getting screwed over.
We know that. It's very hard when you're the ones getting screwed over. But you have to get over it. You just have to get over it. And that's a mindset game, right? A mindset game that, you're in control, not external forces. You didn't see really, you saw it a little bit, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't complaining about the officials 2 weeks ago.
No, he didn't say a word.
Didn't say a word. And in the game, his body language wasn't upset about calls, even if he knew, right, that he was getting screwed. He knew that he can still win the game. Mahomes can still win the game. Once you flip your mind and get to a point where you understand that you control everything and that even the other team doesn't play a factor or the officials don't play a factor, no matter how bad they are or how much it seems like or that they are screwing you over, once you get your mind there, you'll be in a much better place. But you have to get over it because, it's the bad slippery slope.
I'm glad you brought that up. And the comments coming in are great. Chris Bird in Toronto, how much time do we invest in a game to review calls on the field /ice? They don't have that down yet. When they first brought this in and they were taking 5 minutes to review an icing, I'm changing channels, man, and I'm not coming back. So they got to get that figured out. Mark Zosel says there were a couple questionable calls against the Chiefs, but they shot themselves in the foot with the others. That's the thing. If the Chiefs are blaming anybody but themselves, then and that's what football people do, then they're the ones at fault. The officiating wasn't great, but you need to if you're good enough, you're as good as everybody thinks you are, then you should have been able to come over that or get over that.
If you're going to technology too, then you got to call everything. Everything. So that means everything that they called in the Chiefs was going to get called, and then a whole lot more. And when they say there's holding on every play?
Yeah. There is.
It would be like going through sludge.
So I'm loath to even listen to people bitch about officiating. I'll give coaches and players maybe an hour after the game, but fans, not at all. But it is such a huge part of the game. It's always going to be there. So we can't move on. But I just remember 2003 WHL playoffs. The Pats got screwed hard by the league and the officials against the Brandon Wheat Kings. And I'll bring up some names. Jordan Tutu, Clinton Orr, Josh Harding. Remember these guys? And we lost in a series that was just taken straight away from us. There's no doubt. And Bobby Lowe's was our coach. And like months later, we're at the draft in Calgary, downtown at the Keg, the night before the draft, and I'm just ranting and raving and like pounding the table that we got screwed and we split in Brandon. We should have been swept, but we split the first two. We had a chance in that series, and the league took it away. Matt Hubbard and Bobby Lowe's, who's now working for the Golden Knights, literally looked at me and he's like, "You got to get over it, man." And he was the coach. He was our coach, and I couldn't get over it. So all I'm saying is, you can bitch about it for a time, but you just need to get over it for your own peace.
Yeah.
Or you'll carry that to the grave.
And the Tortorella thing, it was the goal against Carolina, I think, and it was an ice trainee or an arena trainee that made the mistake that led to the goal, and they didn't take it away. I'm hearing now because there's no precedent to take away a goal based on an arena problem. So I understand why Tortorella's upset, but it's tough.
Cooper Campbell's watching in Mississippi. He says, teasing me thinking Bo Levi's coming on isn't fair, buddy. Just kidding. Hey, listen, Bo is coming up next hour. Bo Lokombo, the BC Lions. I had one of our sponsors say it was genius marketing. I have no issues with it. And we'll get Bo Levi. We'll come back with a full-on viewer takeover plus CFL report. We got to talk about Chris Jones coming back to the CFL because some people don't like it. Don't even like the talk of it. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You got to subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
And the dupes, the moose. Thank you, Todd Pinkney, for that. We're full on viewer takeover. Phil Gross, Phil, you need to go for a run. I know it's minus 46. You need to back away from your keyboard. This guy's so upset about the officiating in the game. I get it. Speaking of moving on. So it's viewer takeover, okay? So between Facebook and YouTube, J.Pierre Ducarme says, Rod, you are the only CFL fan who wants Chris Jones back in the league. And it just leapt off. The rest of us would rather invest in coaches who intend to stay a while. That's your opinion, and that's cool. From JP. Hang on. I know you got thoughts on that. We got so many. Yeesh. Mandy at Edmonton said something about jumping back to the NFL and over the fence. And there's so many comments I can barely keep my mind on all of them. You had a point?
Well, how long did it came up in the last couple of weeks with Chris Jones coming in here? That the longest tenured rider coaches, like there hasn't been long tenures.
No.
Right? I mean, if a coach is here for 3 years, that's a long time in Saskatchewan.
Blake says, I want him back. Blake Brown says, I want him back. From Caesar, it wasn't the officiating. The Bucs defense played insanely well, pressuring Mahomes. Give the teams some credit. Just on the Chris Jones thing, because I had a football guy from Orlando tweet at me today, Sammy. And yeah, He's a Jones guy. Okay, fair enough. He works for the Alouettes. He's a scout. Sammy writes this. A player leaves the CFL for the NFL, he's celebrated. Oftentimes they come back to the CFL welcomed with open arms. When a coach leaves for the NFL, he's crucified. Tell me how that works. Both parties came to the league, did what they had to do to make the jump, and then tagged at Rod Pedersen. A lot of this, I said, Sammy, I wouldn't worry about it too much. A lot of it is jealousy. And let's think about this for 1 second. It's a Jones thing. It's not a going to the NFL and back thing. Trestman did it. Nobody cared. They welcomed him back from the Bears to win a Grey Cup with the Argos. Scott Milanovich left here, went to the Jags, came back to Edmonton. Now he's back to the... It happens all the time. It's that they don't like Jones. And why they don't like Jones, we're talking about the fans, is their own problem. I think they're intimidated by the guy. Very early on with Chris Jones, I never, ever had a problem with him, even when I was with the Rough Riders and he was with other teams, because I could smell a mile away he's my kind of guy. He says what's on his mind. If you don't like it, beat it. He's not one of those, what do I call him, grin F guys. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm friends with you. And as soon as you leave the room, knife in the back. He's not that. So I like him. People don't like a straight from the shoot from the hip kind of guy. Like Wally Buono's like that. Don Matthews like that. We don't want a guy that had been in the NFL because we want a guy that's going to stay here his whole career. We'll take the lesser coach. Think about that for a second.
I know.
Nice thinking there.
It's tough. And it's kind of the Tom Brady effect in Tampa Bay, too, right? And you heard Bruce Arians come out and say it later on in some of the post-game press conferences and interviews that he's done in the last 12 hours when he talked about Tom Brady came in here and took a team with a lot of talent and taught us how to win, which means he taught us how to dig deep, how to, the tough part of football, the work you have to put in. It takes a lot of discomfort to have success. And we're not trained for discomfort, right? Our minds just want to go to what's comfortable, not what's uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is what achieves uncommon, what achieves winning, right? Easy is what you're trained. Your brain wants to go to easy all the time. And Tom, forces you out of that. And that's what these tough coaches do.
Yeah. And Jones is a winner. Brady is a winner, obviously. Look at all these comments. Rick Haglund says Jones is not Buono. He hasn't been around long enough. He hasn't been a head coach long enough. If Jones stayed long enough, he probably would have a chance to challenge for career wins. But he wants back. Somebody said you can't blame a guy for wanting to do what's better for his family. Financially, I think he took a significant pay cut to go to Cleveland. But it's the league. He knew that. He could stay in the CFL forever and make high six figures or go to the National Football League and take his chances. Boy, oh boy. There's one thing about Jones. It's a little like Deron Carter and a little like myself. Anytime they're in the headlines, people's heads pop off. For and against, right? But there's just something about a polarizing personality, and that's Chris Jones. By the way, Dylan McDonald writes that he says, Game Plus used to play the show The League. Such a great show. I have the box set of the series on DVD. I'm not a huge football fan, but the show is hilarious and awesome. Don't we still show The League on Game Plus?
Wonderful show. Yeah. Mark Duplo's in it.
It's still on.
Amazing. But that's sports fans passionate, right? Whether you're passionate about the officials or passionate about the players.
Coming up in hour 2, Bo Lokombo of the BC Lions. More Super Bowl talk. We'll get around to some NHL and Chris Jones. Thanks to Dave Hodge here in hour 1. We'll see you in hour 2 after this break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Now, the Bucks and the Chiefs. Super Bowl 55. And even the most hardened, grizzled football vets are saying, yeah, this is the best matchup of all time.
How about that?
I've made a prediction that Tampa Bay will win by 7. I'm saying 7. Lynch, what's yours?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 12, and Tom Brady will be the player of the game.
A stomping, huh?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
I tell you what, they made T-shirts in Seattle that said Lynch knows. That's John Lynch nailing the Super Bowl prediction on Friday. Nice work digging that out.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Hour
Jordan.
2. Yeah, welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show. Way to go, Director Jordan. I'm going to jump right into it. We spent way too much time in Hour 1 dilly-dallying right off the top, so let's get into it. Dave Hodge was with us from TSN, the icon from Hockey Night in Canada and TSN. If you missed it, go back and watch it later. And coming up this hour, Bo Lokombo of the BC Lions. People are upset that we said Bo will be on the show Monday. They took it to mean Bo Levi. It's not our fault.
No.
We said Bo will be on. We'll get Bo Levi. But today, we're very excited to have Bo Lokombo coming up in Block 2. But let's hit the quick 6 show topics, please, Jordan. And I welcome all those watching on YouTube and Facebook Live right now. Glenn Elm writes in on YouTube. He says, did Brady and Gronk get any sleep last night? No, I don't think so. That just came up. I saw Ndamukong Suh on ESPN's Get Up this morning, and he looked fresh. Football term. You know he hadn't been to bed, but he looked with it.
Quick power nap, some cold spoons on
Might
your
have
eyes.
had a nap. Might have. Gronk, you know he didn't sleep last night. And Tom, if he jumped into bed, could you blame him? But that's not saying he's sleeping.
No, it's not.
Okay. You hit it, right? Can you hit it again? Quick 6 show topics. Thank you. Number 1, Super Bowl 55. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers rocked the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. That's why we dilly-dallied last hour. I was talking about my mailman. And I'll just paraphrase. Leaving the house this morning, it's minus 46, I think, with the wind chill. It's insane.
It is now.
I had run my car a couple times on remote start, and the third time, it won't run anymore. It's like, get your ass down here and start it yourself. That's what the car is saying. Yeah. So I go down there. I'm coming into the studio. I'm trying to. And my mailman, he's walking, they're all bundled up, right? What did you think of the Super Bowl game? I'm like, no. If it was July, I would have the time. Of course, he's up. What does he care? He's got a sweat built up. He's got icicles dangling from his eyelashes, and he wants to talk about the game. And I'm like, it's minus 46, man. I'm going to die out here. But I obliged him with my door. It's like it was. I'm hanging on my door that's open. Right? All the warm air is coming out. We could still be there talking, and he'd be happy.
Oh, yeah.
But I said I'm a Brady fan. This gentleman brought up the officiating and how bad it was, the bad Chiefs offensive line. He's like, where did their linemen go? And I said, well, they had some injuries on their offensive line. Well, there's no depth then. This is supposed to be the Super Bowl champions. It's the Super Bowl. He's right. You don't use injuries for an excuse. You know who uses injuries for an excuse? Teams that aren't in the playoffs. Right? The mailman knew. He wanted to talk about Drew Brees' future. And the other thing was, here's my little bit of a life lesson if you can today. He says, why would Tom Brady come back? He's 43, going to be 44. He's got 7 Super Bowls. He's got more than enough money. And I think for any player, as long as you can keep playing, as long as you want to play. And incidentally, right now, I think Charleston Hughes is meeting with the media in Toronto. There's a guy that said, I will play until they tell me, Charleston, you can no longer play. Would you not go along with that? I think Brady should play for as long. Why? Because here's what he's saying. I guarantee it. And maybe he said it in the media. I feel good. Why would I stop now? I feel good.
Threw for 140 yards in the first half and 3 touchdowns, and then managed the game, just navigated the landing, right, for the second half. Had a quarterback rating that was the highest in Super Bowl history at age 43. He's got lots left in the tank. And when he signed a 2-year deal, the kind of thought process was he's going to come to Tampa in year 1, and they're going to kind of get things sorted out, and Tom's going to kind of lay the foundation, and in year 2, they're going to contend. Well, they won a Super Bowl in year 1. So he's absolutely coming back. There's no talk of retirement yet.
He said after the game he's coming back.
Yeah.
Robin says it's minus 49 in PA right now. Randolph Zora says so cold the LED on the gas pumps faded right out. Is that where we're going today?
Mm-hmm.
How cold is it? Jokes. You know how cold it is out there, Darren?
How cold?
I saw a squirrel holding his nuts up against a heater.
So I brought home groceries yesterday, and I dropped a 4-liter jug of milk on the step, spilling everywhere. And the first thought was I got to get some water. And the second thought was, no. Just let it freeze. It'll be safer to scrape it off. And within 5 minutes, I could just scrape the milk away. So it's cold.
Nobody laughed at my squirrel joke.
I did.
Not loud. Got a guy writing us from Florida. He says, sup.
You got to remember, not the first time I've heard these jokes.
Well, that's right. They're new to the viewers, not new to everybody. Anyways, getting hung up again on point 1. Here on the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons, which I did on Saturday with pizza and ribs, and they were delicious. Point 2, the weekend halftime act. I was wrong. I said he'd sing 5 songs. It ended up around 8. I don't know. It became a mismatch. I'm not sure how many he sang. I would give it a 6 out of 10, the halftime performance by the weekend. I really like him. I really like his music, but I thought it was weird. We were mesmerized that for the first few songs, his blazer was changing colors. Did you notice that? He came out and it was white, and then it was red with sequins, and then it was red with no sequins. We're like, he's not even changing. And then he went into that ridiculous House of Mirrors, and he lost me.
The camera angles, right up in his face.
Yeah, he lost me.
It was, yeah.
So, some people laughed. They liked it. You can switch to that joke in the summer, too. It's so hot out, I saw a squirrel soaking his nuts in a fountain.
I haven't heard that one.
Point 3 is Dan O'Toole's rant / Jay Onright's monologue. Last week, we know that TSN, the axe swung through TSN, Canada's ESPN, and a lot of the big names and big talent were let go. That includes Dan O'Toole, one half of Jay and Dan. He went on a long rant on Saturday, and people were saying he was having a meltdown. And it's like, how do you know that he's really having a meltdown, or is he just upset? How do you know when you take the off-ramp to not operating in your right mind? I think he was operating in his right mind. And he was calling out Bell Let's Talk for promoting mental health, but then destroying his by letting him go. As I wrote in my 10 Things column Sunday, it's all a matter of opinion. I can see why Dan's upset, but I can also say from Bell's side, hey, who else is contributing money to mental health support and research? $8 million this year. What's Rogers done? Right? So there's that. These companies and networks are ruthless and they're heartless, and we're seeing it. We all know that. You don't think there's more big-ticketed, big-name guys at TSN and Sportsnet that have been looking over their shoulder every day since this, wondering if they're next? That's the way it goes. That's part of the job. So I'm not worried or careful what I say because I don't expect to ever work for Bell. I've had offers before, turned them down, didn't really want to leave here. Because I know when you step onto that national stage, there's a lot of good things that go with it. There's a lot of bad things that go with it. And Dan has experienced both. And I don't think his rant on Saturday is going to hurt his chances of future employment. I would hire him, let's put it that way, because he's so good, and he's a good person. He's a good person. I'm just checking the comments as we go here. Moving to point 4, the Edmonton football team has narrowed down its search for their next name to 7 names. Producer Clark has them, so you can have a look at them for yourself. Only one peels my banana. Okay? There they are. And you know what it is. Mm-hmm. The Evergreens, the Eagles, the Elkhounds, the Eclipse, the Elk, the Evergolds, and the Elements. I don't even know what an Evergold is. Is it a type of flower? What's an Elkhound? Is that like it's a Norwegian dog? You know that? How do you know that so fast? That's creepy. That's like a Seahawk.
Yeah.
Well, he's a hound. You're right. Clark's a hound. He knows all of their hounds. Takes one to know one. It's got to be the elk, right?
It's got to be. It is. It is. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be odds out on it. We'll be able to bet it, come on and bet on if it's going to be the Elk or the Eagles or whoever it's going to be. But it has to be. I mean, well, yeah, we wanted Empire. And you know what? At the end of the day, I have to at least respect the organization for deciding that they don't want the Empire and sticking with it, no matter how great it is and how much I think it's the right choice. So they've said from the beginning, it's not going to be the Empire. Cool. So yeah, it's got to be the Elk.
Just go ask Bel Air Direct what they want. It would save us all a lot of time and money. Correct?
Yeah.
Jeff in Winnipeg says, Rod, you are correct. Good and bad when working for big corporations. Had the opportunity, wasn't interested. I like what we're doing here a lot. 2.5. Glenn Suter went off on Regina Radio on Friday, a man who really needs no introduction. He's been the color voice of the CFL on TSN, Team A, for 20-some years. The headline at 3downnation.com after the fact, Suter fires off at petty team officials spreading conspiracy theories. Unquote. Go read it for yourself at 3down right now. Oh, I was like, I got to read this. I can't wait. I love this stuff. Don't we all?
Yeah.
And basically, we were talking about this in our morning meeting, and everybody has a different take at what Suter was getting at. I would say go read it yourself and then come back and tell me yours, because he's saying the gentleman's agreement in the CFL was that we're all going to spend to the salary cap floor. Gentleman's agreement here because we can't put it in paper because we currently have a collective bargaining agreement. And a gentleman's agreement. It's such an oxymoron, right? Mm-hmm. We're not dealing with gentlemen here as history has shown. So how do you think, or why do you think they're going to adhere to an agreement? They're all out to screw each other over in the CFL. And most leagues, it's not just the CFL. Since I began on the air in the league in 1991, they have not been in it together. And Suter's imploring people to work together. He's imploring teams to work together, team officials to work together, football organizations to work together. Glenn Suter had it all right. I'm not even arguing with one word that he said. But I sat there and said, because all of a sudden we're faced with the biggest crisis in league history, people are just going to change on a dime. It's not going to happen. So they're going to have to find a way to coexist because you got warring football organizations, warring teams, warring media outlets. Nobody's working together. They never have. And now you're just magically going to work together for the betterment of football in Canada and the Canadian Football League. It won't happen. I got a text message today from a team about another team that was breaking, protocol of negotiating window. Like, I don't even understand it. But they're ratting each other out, which I don't have a problem with because that's the way they've always done it. What's going to make you expect that it's going to change now? That's my rant on what Suter had to say. I'm with Glenn. I really like Glenn a lot. He's a great guy, and he does the best for football in Canada. He should be in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame for his contributions, but they're not going to stop behaving the way they've behaved for 100 years because he said so.
We've been behaving like that since we were kids. I'm just
talking about the CFL. That's it.
But that's just human nature. I mean, everybody will play along with it while it serves them, right? But as soon as there's an opportunity to get ahead or an opportunity to, get the guy you want, all those gentlemen's agreements are off the table.
Right?
Off the table. So, yeah, it's highly romantic to think that, they can pull it off and everybody will go to the floor. But as soon as somebody has an opportunity, of course they're going to take it. This is pro football.
Yeah, but there's a little more to it than that. I mean, look at the leagues that are playing. Look at the NHL. We knew that there were 3 to 5 teams in the NHL that did not want to play. Those teams are going under right now. Are you paying attention to this, people? The NHL has taken out $1 billion loan for teams that can't survive in the pandemic because they feel that they'll get the money back because they wanted to play because that was what was best for the NHL, the game of hockey, and for their players. The CFL, don't get mad at me. It's the way that it is. Maybe that's why people don't like Chris Jones, because he speaks the truth. I'm speaking the truth. Those owners pulled the plug on the 2020 season because it was what was best for them, personally. Not what was best for the CFL. Come on, give me a break. So, yeah, you're saying that sports is a microcosm of life. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just talking specifically about the Canadian Football League here now. And have we come far enough in this pandemic that the CFL is going, we have to play because it's the league? I don't know that. But the team staff aren't changing how they're acting. Like I said, I'm getting text messages here today. Should I move on? They tell me that Bo's locked in and ready he'll be coming up, Bo Lokombo, next break. But point 6, my God, we've hardly talked NHL. NHL leftovers. Here were you. I didn't watch a shift of NHL hockey on Sunday, and I'm proud to say it. The guys on the NFL Network were laughing. Mooch, Rich Eisen going, we just wrapped up 8 hours on the air. Here's me. 8 hours? Seemed like 8 minutes. Right? My wife's like, how can they do this all day? I said, the better question would be, how could I watch it all day? Never get tired of it. So I didn't go over to hockey, but here's who won. Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. Chicago, Carolina, Detroit, and Philadelphia. Tonight, sports on tap for the Tap Brew House and drive-through liquor store. Subway Battle Dupes, Islanders, Rangers. Your Leafs are probably going to mangle the Canucks again tonight.
Here's hoping.
You would think.
I would think.
Edmonton at Ottawa, Carolina at Columbus, Tampa Bay at Nashville, Arizona at St. Louis. And Dave Hodge, I'm not going to paraphrase it now because we're out of time, but 1 hour ago gave a tremendous theory on the Leafs' mentality in this season, and it's working. Obviously, Dave Hodge is a Leafs fan. Did you get that out of that?
I got a little impression of that. Yeah. Came across.
So we are going to talk more Super Bowl, and we're going to talk CFL with Bo Lokombo when we come back. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. You're home for the NFL. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces in 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook. And listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait, do it right now. Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Just ahead of Bo Lokombo with the BC Lions. Bo Lokombo. I got to remind everybody that the viewer takeover isn't for now. It's coming up in about 15 minutes time, so just hang on. I don't know about Chris Jones. Man, people get some fired up when it comes to Chris Jones. I'm not quite sure why. But Bo Lokombo's got a hell of a story. Born in Zaire. Did you know that? BC Lions 2014 to 2016. In the NFL in 2017 with the Ravens, Raiders, and 49ers. Back to BC in 2018. 2019 with the Owls. Signed a deal with the Argos in 2020, but of course they didn't play. Had a tremendous CFL sim season with our esports league. And now he's back with the BC Lions, CFL West All-Star in 2015. He joins us on video chat today. Hey, Bo, did I cover it all there?
Yeah, you did great, Rod. You did great.
Okay. I appreciate it. So I got a lot of football questions to get with you as it pertains to Canada, but I'm asking everybody today their take on Super Bowl 55. What was yours?
Oh, man. I'm disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. I really thought it was gonna be a better game overall. I bought into the hype of the old GOAT versus the new GOAT. Jordan versus LeBron James. The whole week actually, I was looking forward to the Super Bowl. You know what? It was a good Super Bowl. Obviously, Tom Brady is the GOAT. We could have a whole nother conversation about Tom Brady. He just proved it once again. It was an okay game. I thought it was an okay game, but I really was hoping for a closer game.
Well, I want to dig into that a little more. I bought into the hype too. I was expecting a better game, and I'm just happy that my guy Tom won. But were you upset that it wasn't a close game, or were you upset at officiating kind of nullified any chance at the Chiefs for them, or were you disappointed at how Patrick Mahomes wasn't protected or how he looked? I mean, what specifically was disappointing to you?
I mean, Mahomes got pressured, what they said, 29 times, 30 times. At the time they were talking about Mahomes being one of the best passers when it comes to blitzing, that don't blitz him. A few people said that you can't blitz him, but they blitzed him. They got pressure on him. I was just hoping for a closer game. I think that's the biggest thing here. But, obviously the Bucs played a better game. They blew him out. Tom Brady is I'm actually surprised, Rod, you're not wearing a Tom Brady shirt. I know you're a big fan of Tom Brady. And he's just a beast, man. He's a great player.
Well, you've been in the league. So, I was around football guys all weekend. Some guys have played 10 years, and they're like, Brady's in his 21st year? I can't imagine, guys were saying. And you've been in the league. I mean, it's not your average 43-year-old walking around. People think they just pulled a guy at a Walmart that's 43 and put him behind center. Tom is a freak. He's not your average 43-year-old. What do you know about his training regime and the kind of, just his will to win?
Yeah, he's a disciplined guy. I'm a big fan of Tom Brady simply because of his story. He's a guy that was drafted super late, I think, in the 6th round. He just rose to prominence. He's in the same. He's at an even higher level than LeBron James. He's better than the Joe Montana, in my eyes anyway. He's better than the Joe Montanas out there, the Peyton Mannings. I think his discipline is what keeps him playing for so long. He's just such a tremendous player. Obviously, the guys that he brought in with him, Gronk, who had a great game, Antonio Brown. I'm a big fan of Antonio Brown too. He had a solid game, and then their defense came together. It just seemed like he's one of those guys like LeBron. Like everywhere he goes, he brings greatness, and that's what he brought. He brought the New England way to the Bucs, and now they're in the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl.
Yep, taught them how to win for sure, as his coach said after the game. But you know what? Enough about those guys. Your story is amazing. I mentioned that you were born in Zaire, played college at Oregon, but you're classified as a non-import. You went in the CFL draft in 2013 in the 3rd round. And I read your resume. You've been all over the place, but now you're back with the BC Lions and ready to play in 2021. How does it feel to be at home and settled again after moving around quite a bit?
It feels great, man. I think, where I'm at in my career, it's all about stability. I've established a pretty good, stable place here in BC, born, being raised here in BC. My family's out here in BC. Now I have a family. The most important thing for me is stability, and I'm happy to be back here in BC. I've bounced around a lot, going from team to team. I had a great NFL experience in 2017. But I'm very grateful to be back, and I'm excited to get the 2021 season going.
I got to jump in with some questions from our viewers, if you don't mind, Bo. For one, from our director of scouting, Craig Smith, who incidentally broke in with the BC Lions as well and won a Grey Cup there in 2000. He says, hey, Bo, did you play for Dennis Kelly? And where did it go? Darren, it slipped off the screen.
And how did you get down
to South Eugene Prep? Yeah, so Dennis Kelly and South Eugene Prep. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so Dennis Kelly was my head coach when I was playing for Moet back in from 26 to 2009. He was our primary coach. He was also the physical education PE teacher at Moet, and he was the one that really taught me the game of football. One of those old coaches that just loves the game, and he was at the time he was one of the best coaches, I think, in my opinion, in BC, bringing Moet to a couple, a Subway Bowl in BC, and just everything he did for WJ Moet and his philosophy about the game. He made it fun. He taught us how to play together, how to love the game, how to have fun playing the game. And he was just a great coach at the time. And he was funny too, man. He used to always say dog biscuit. He used to have inside jokes. Every time something would go wrong or he'd be fired up, he'd be like, dog biscuit, let's go, guys. We need to win. Dog biscuit. That was his, his mantra, his saying. And he just kept the energy light. And we loved it.
From Dan Ukrainitz watching on Facebook, he says, Bo, how was your brother Nelson's experience at the virtual Shrine game? Hoping for big things from him. Go Huskies.
Yeah, go Huskies. I'm excited for him, but I don't know if I answered the last question, how I ended up in South Eugene. Yeah. Just long story short, I basically what happened was I had family in Eugene, and at the time I was going to a lot of like Nike camps, stuff like that, like across the border. So I started going to Nike camps and, Rivals.com, Scout.com. And I was I was performing well. There's a bunch of scouts there. Long story short, they ended up seeing one of my camps. I think I had like 3 interceptions. I was playing receiver at the time and just like killing all the American players there. And one of the coach at Oregon State saw me and gave me a scholarship at the time. And then it just trickled. It became a domino effect. I got a scholarship from Oregon and all the Pac-12 teams, and it was great. It was wonderful, great experience. And as far as my brother, I'm just excited for him. He's coming into, he's preparing for the CFL draft. He's training right now. He went back to Saskatchewan. When he was up here in BC, we were training quite a bit. 4 times a week, doing speed work, staying in shape, stuff like that. Due to the pandemic, there wasn't really much gyms open at the time, and so we started training together. And yeah, I'm excited for him, man. I think he's like up there in one of the top prospects in the 2021 CFL draft. So I'm excited. We'll see how he goes and where he lands.
It's funny. Selfishly, I could ask all the questions here, but the viewers really want to get at you. So it makes my job easy. I'll just ask you their questions. So Paul Totsky says, how do you feel about the Argos direction? So that's one. You signed with them in 2020, never played a game, and you're back with BC. And Lauren Smith in Kamloops, BC says, Bo, have the Lions indicated how they want to use you this year? So let's just split those. The Argos, you're not with them anymore, but it's pretty hard to miss what they're doing under Pinball and Murph and Ryan Dinwiddie. So what do you think about the Boatmen in 2021?
Yeah, I think they're putting together a pretty solid roster. At the time they wanted me to come in to play safety for them. They were looking to put some good players on defense. And I think, now that they got a bunch of guys from, I think they signed a few guys from the NFL. Bryant, I forgot his name. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name.
Martavis Bryant. Yeah.
They signed him. They brought in a couple, D-line, couple solid players on offense. I think they're gonna be a team to look out for. They've struggled in the past before, but they're coming in strong. And we'll see how that goes. It's unfortunate I wasn't able to play for that organization due to COVID, but we'll see how that happens. And what was the question number 2?
The question, and it was about the Lions and how they plan to use you this year. And you answer that, please, and then I got another one for you on the Lions. What's your role going to be?
Yeah, I'll probably play Will linebacker. Probably start at Will linebacker. Maybe I'll have some packages playing safety. Personally, I'm fine with either or. I'm good with playing Will. I'm gained some weight over the off season, so I'm just training to come back to play Will.
Your Wikipedia says 6'2", 231. That's.
But I'm lean 6'3", 6'2", 230. I'm lean.
Okay. I just want to. That's Larry Fitzgerald dimensions, and I've been around Larry. He's like a fridge. Like that's thick. 231. I know you're not a wide receiver. That's pretty good size for a Will linebacker for sure. And so speaking of that, you went to high school at Abbotsford. We've had Lamar Durant on the show here. He's a Lower Mainland guy. Suk Chung. It almost seems like they're going out of their way for local guys on the Lions, and I love that. Is that a direction they're going? And how do you think that's going to help bring people to BC Place?
I mean, tremendously. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in coming to watch the game. You know, in the past, we've had some, issues with attendance. You know, I think just in Vancouver, period, there's so much to do. You know, they have the NHL, they have the Vancouver Canucks, they have the Whitecaps, and sometimes, we're kind of in the back front of that. And, it's kind of rightfully so because we haven't been, the BC Lions organization haven't been in that top tier organization, so bringing guys like myself, Lamar Durant, and those guys, I played against Lamar Durant in high school, and, maybe my brother being drafted by the Lions, who knows? It just brings the community together. It's good for the economy in BC, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, when you did play for the Lions back in the day, how many family members would you bring out to a game?
I try to bring 20, 25, 30. I have a pretty big family, so as many family as I can.
That's what I think, though. That is, if they could have enough Vancouver area guys, you could fill that whole lower bowl with family, which I think the Argos are doing, too, with Nate Ajay and Dejan Brissett, and there's a ton of guys from out there. And I guess your thoughts on the CFL, as much as you know, Bo, about playing in 2021, what have you heard? What are you looking forward to? What do you know?
I mean, I've heard that if, everything going well, I heard that the season may start a little bit behind, maybe end of June kind of thing, June, July. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But they're pushing hard to get the season going, and the season we have to have a season this year, and I'm looking forward to it. Personally as a player, I'm training, getting ready for a good 2021 season. We'll see how everything goes.
What else have you been doing with your time?
I bought a house out here in BC, so I've been kind of changing things around. My girlfriend is pregnant. We're expecting our second child. Play a lot with my son. We do a lot of outdoor stuff. I'm trying to get him into basketball and just sports in general. So I spend a lot of time with my son and staying low, man. Playing video games and just staying away from trouble.
You will cherish this time, and I thought I heard a little one running around there. So obviously, you haven't had a lot of time to yourself. Viewer Greg Klevgard says local players gives a team more spirit and energy, and for sure there is. Well, we do have a standing invitation from your general manager, Neil McAvoy, right, to come out to a game, walk the concourse at BC Place. I'd like to do a live show there the day of the home opener. So here's hoping it all happens, Bo. I appreciate you coming on and the support. Anything else you want to drop before we let you go?
Hey, Rod, I'm a big fan of your show. And also, I was going to say about your story about the mailman. He probably was having a conversation with you because he was cold. You know what I'm saying? He was negative. He wanted to come in. He didn't want to talk to you. He just wanted to come in because he was cold.
Oh, dumb dog. Now I got to go chase him down.
He was just fishing for an invite inside.
How dumb am I? Oh, yeah. Well, I'll probably see him tomorrow, Bo. I'll bring him in tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thanks for watching. Bo Lokombo. Boseko Lokombo. And for those that missed it, my mailman started up a conversation today. It was minus 46 outside. I'm like, dude, any other day. But I engaged him. He was looking for an invite.
He just keeps, turning the wheel of the conversation. He's really not going to invite me in, is he?
Clearly.
Maybe a cup of coffee, huh?
I'm not sure Bo Lokombo's been in a minus 46 outdoor conversation situation before. Nobody wants to be there for long.
Quite the dance. Yeah, exactly.
He might have wanted to go in and use the bathroom. What do mailmen do and mail women, mail carriers? In that case, what do they do?
I don't know. You can't. You can't unzip at minus 50. You can't.
It's the bane of our existence out here in the Great White North. What did they do? Can somebody tell me? We'll be back in a moment. We got a lot to unpack here. Is viewer takeover the rest? No, I was not failing protocol. We were over 6 feet apart. Trust me. Plus, those droplets would have died in the cold air. I'm sure they would have. We'll be right back. Viewer takeover the rest of the show. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues after this on Game Plus Television, Facebook, and YouTube Live daily. And listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Sports update time. Great opening day for Canadians at the Australian Open. All 5 Canadians in action won their first round matches. The highlight was a 3-set win for 2019 U.S. Open champ Bianca Andreescu in her first competition in 15 months. Denis Shapovalov, Milos Raonic, and Felix Auger-Aliassime. And Rebecca Marino also prevailed. I'm sorry to our closed captioner again today. I did you dirty there. The Edmonton football team says it has a short list of 7 candidates for its new name: Elk, Evergreens, Evergolds, Eclipse, Elk Hounds, Eagles, and Elements are listed as possibilities on an online survey released today. 2 North Division games in the NHL tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs will try to complete a 3-game sweep of the visiting Vancouver Canucks, while the Ottawa Senators open a 2-game series against the Oilers in the nation's capital. The first-place Leafs will face the second-place Montreal Canadiens in 2 games later this week. The Toronto Raptors look to bounce back tonight. Toronto is in Memphis to face the Grizzlies. Raptors lost to Atlanta on Saturday, snapping a 3-game slide. Toronto 10-13 on the year. Memphis 9-9. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, corner of Rochdale and Pasqua, and for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. The comments are literally all over the place. It's crazy. John Heaps wrote in and said, did I miss something about Chris Jones? Jack in Vulcan, Alberta's watching. He says people don't like Chris Jones because he's up front and speaks his mind, but the man knows how to win. Last I looked, winning is what it's all about. Yes, Jack, but winning intimidates some people. Strong people with backbones like Chris Jones intimidate mediocre people without backbones. And believe me, there's a lot of them around. So, no, you didn't miss anything in terms of, is Chris Jones, John Heaps, you didn't miss anything. No, Chris Jones is not coming back. Not yet. But it was in my 10 Things column on Sunday. 3downnation.com picked it up. And that is that Chris Jones wants to come back to the CFL for a variety of reasons. He likes the CFL. I would suggest he likes being able to run his own team in Canada versus being an assistant coach and having no say-so, like was the case in the National Football League. Could you blame him for that, Darren?
No, not really. You know, when you've had that, opportunity, again, he told us he wants to coach, right? He wants to coach. He wants to be on a football field. So I think the CFL, it's in their best interest to bring the best football people into the league. And if Chris Jones is one of the best football people, then you should keep your eyes open for that and your mind open.
This is hilarious, by the way. Richard Allender. Richard, you're going to have to remind me where you're watching from. I think it's Oklahoma. But he said it might just be easier to change the name of the city of Edmonton than name the football team. I get it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's becoming this process of like, what do we do, right? It's like, it shouldn't be this difficult.
I wouldn't think it should be this difficult, no, but apparently it is. Go ahead.
There's names you want. Just pick the name you want. Don't worry about upsetting a few people. Please.
Easier said than done.
Oh, trust me. I know.
Man, I can't believe it. Donna Berger, she says, that's it. Jones running it all his way. That's what he wants. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, says lots of people dislike Jones so much they're blind to the fact the Riders were 1 yard away from going to the Grey Cup under Chris Jones. They haven't got any further without him. This guy, Jeff in Winnipeg, wants to keep talking about the Golden Knights, Canada's team. Hang on. We'll do that tomorrow, Jeff, okay? I'm updating the poll here for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, and it is, what was the story of Super Bowl? The 4 options are Brady's 7th Super Bowl, Bucks defense, The Weeknd, the halftime act,
yep,
or officiating. And for me, I would vote Brady's 7th title. What would you vote?
Yeah, I'd vote for Brady. I'd almost wanted to put Gronk on that list, too, with his 2 touchdowns.
You really love him, don't you?
I do. The story's great. The officiating is definitely a storyline for sure, and it's not a great storyline, but I like it sitting in 3rd position behind the Bucks D and Tom, because those were the top 2.
Mike Kelly, watching in Florida, says CFL's better than the NFL for quality of life. And now you find out why Chris Jones is earnestly looking for a position in the Canadian Football League. That's all that the news is today. And if you weren't watching earlier in hour 1, my point was a Jones guy wrote me from Florida. It's not Mike, but it's another guy. And he just said, why is everybody hating on Chris Jones? What's the deal? And I said, don't worry about it. There's always going to be haters. The only way that you don't have haters is when you don't do anything. And that's not really amenable to a lot of us that like to do things in life. But here's the thing with the Jones people. Do you know where this kind of got triggered lately? I mean, I've been around all those guys for a long time, but when I wrote that Chris Jones was on the sidelines for the Cleveland-Kansas City divisional playoff game, but then he wasn't on the sidelines, my phone blew up from all those guys. I hadn't talked to them in ages.
Yeah.
And now I've talked to them to like every day since. So a little error kind of sprung all this in motion now. And they're like, yeah, Jones, he wants to come to Canada. And incidentally, these guys all have jobs. It's not like they're trying to cling on to Jones so we can get a job somewhere so they can get one. They all got jobs. But here's the thing about the Jones crew that I realized why we got along really well is they sniff out BS fast. They got backbone.
Yep.
You know,
and stick together.
And they stick together. They got each other's backs. And that goes back to the earlier point. And we're going to have to break here. You tell me, guys, when should break. Okay, we got a little bit of time left here, but back to that Suter thing. You got to read the story at 3downnation.com where TSN's Glenn Suter said we need everybody in Canadian football to come together for the one common goal of saving this sport in Canada. He's 100% right. And I'm so pessimistic about that happening because they never have. I mean, those of us that have worked in hockey at high levels and football at high levels compare the two and go, oh my God. We go to hockey league meetings and everybody's working together for the common good of the league. We go to football meetings and it's just, what's the problem here? And as a guy that works in the recovery business, trying to get people to change their lives and the way that they think for the better, it is very, very, very difficult to get somebody to change the way unless they really want to. Do you hold out hope that everybody's going to come together in this country?
No, I'm as optimistic as I am, and I'm eternally optimistic. No, I mean, you'd like to think that they'll all try and get on the same page, but at the end of the day, it's a very tough thing to do, and we haven't seen any proof that it can get done.
Yeah, Jeff in Winnipeg says Suter is 100% correct, but as my brother's buddy in Dickinson, North Dakota says, they ran the baseball program there. Being right is not a full-time paying job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Pandora's box right there, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's more. Hang on. We'll be right back with more Viewer Takeover. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at DDG.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And Moose DuPont. It's viewer takeover, but we do got to tell a story. And remind me, we got a text message here from the 705 Southern Ontario area code. But I was on the air in Toledo, Ohio on the Ticket, ESPN Radio, Sunday morning. He tuned in for it.
Is Mick watching?
Hey, Mick probably is watching. Because, of course, they get the Rod Pedersen Show on the Buckeye cable carrier. Channel 696 is the Game Plus network. And you got quite a kick out of that interview, didn't you?
It was pretty funny. He gets on, and I'm listening to it, and I saw your post saying 9:05 Central. And I tune in at about 9:08, 9:09. I'm like, I think I missed it. He's not on? There's no way the hit was like 90 seconds. And Mick is on there, and he's working from home, and he said, we're going to have to wake up Rod Pedersen. He's not here.
He said that on the radio.
He was supposed to be on at 9:05. Someone's going to have to call and wake him up. And then all of a sudden the coast's like, no, I think we got him on hold here. And so you get on, and Mick, I've been on the line for 6 minutes waiting.
I've been on hold for 6 minutes, Mick.
And it completely
rattled him. He didn't come back after that on ESPN Toledo. So a shout out to everybody watching in Toledo today on Channel 696 of the Buckeye cable system.
But it was a fun conversation. He was a great guy. You guys obviously have a relationship. And,
oh, yeah. We go way back.
It was good.
Prairie Mobile text line. So from the 705, I can't believe Chris Jones can't get a coordinator job in the NFL. And Marcus Brady is the OC in Indianapolis? Both are great coaches, but Jonesy has a ton of experience. That's somebody watching in the Barrie, Peterborough area today. I'm sorry. Wayne in Victoria writes in, Victoria, BC, I have to say that the Bucs played very well, plus the Chiefs made lots of mistakes, and that's why the score was so lopsided. The penalties didn't make the difference, just made the score not as close. Just my opinion. There you go from Wayne in Victoria. We have a lot of messages here today, Darren. DG in Saskatoon. Morning, guys. I saw a lot of similarities with the Bucs win last night with the Riders' 2013 win, especially when you compare Gronk to G. Roy Simon. Were you saying that?
I did.
You did, yeah. He said, will Tampa GM Jason Licht still have a job in 2 years? Time will tell. DG in Saskatoon. How about this? How be we go one day at a time? How be we let the Buccaneers enjoy this Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. And then we'll go from there. CFL Report Daily, brought to you by... When are we announcing that? Are they being hard to deal with, that company?
Just going through the process of deciding what they want.
You're trying to upsell them to something else. That's what you're doing. You know how that is, right, Ian?
You know me.
The Toronto Argonauts signed former Denver Broncos linebacker Shane Ray on Saturday. The Argos also re-signed defensive back Robert Woodson and running back Asnel Robo. The 27-year-old Shane Ray was the 23rd overall pick by Denver in the 2015 NFL draft, played 14 games that season. Meanwhile, in Edmonton, CFL defensive back Aaron Grimes has returned to the City of Champions. The Edmonton football team re-signed Grimes for a third stint Saturday after he was released from the BC Lions. The Idaho product originally signed with the club in 2013 and played in 33 games from 2013 to 2015. Here in CFL All-Star honors in 2015 and was a key member of Edmonton's Grey Cup champion defense. Grimes signed with the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2016 offseason, but was injured during the preseason while making an interception and was released during final roster cuts. So there's your daily CFL report. And as I sit there, I think we had Aaron Grimes on this show. That's where Clark, producer, is such a hound dog. All these big CFL names, we've had them all on the show.
Yeah, I know. And it just, all that does, and we put out the tweet from our show account, makes me miss the CFL. You know?
Yeah.
We put that out there, and it kind of spread like wildfire with, let us know if you missed the game. And you realize...
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
When I say about not working together, from our show account, we tweeted on Saturday a beautiful artistic photo that I took of Tim Hortons field. It was beautiful with the Canadian flag.
Yeah.
It looked like a cartoon.
Yeah, it did.
But my camera actually had that setting in it.
You didn't...
That was off my camera.
I thought you filtered it.
And it was retweet if you're missing the CFL praying for a return. The CFL didn't retweet it. No teams. Some coaches did. Some staff. But that's the whole idea of working together. Everybody's at war with each other in Canadian football. So why do we think, because Glenn Suter says we all need to come together, that we're actually going to do it for the first time? We're 10 months into the biggest crisis the CFL's ever seen, and I in no way, shape, or form see the CFL coming together to work together at a critical time. I don't. Clark's read on the Suter article was that the CFL wants to just do their business the shady way it's really always been done and don't want it reported on. While I think that's a thing, I don't think that's what Suter's saying here. I don't think.
No, he just doesn't want the pettiness of, team personnel trying to bring down other team personnel. The romantic nature of football. And can you blame him for that?
It's war.
It's when you said he's 100% right. You want everybody to work together. It's just hard to expect it. It's really hard to expect.
Football's based on war.
Yeah.
That's all. And the thing is, in the NFL and in the NHL, there's just so much money, it's hard to screw up. And right now in the CFL, there just isn't much money. I hope that they will come together. I'm just not that confident. Tomorrow, two NHL greats, Matthew Barnaby and Brent Sopel. We'll be talking about a great 6-game night in the National Hockey League. And it is the opener of CFL free agency tomorrow. So we'll see who goes where, and we'll break it all down. Thanks to Dave Hodge and Bo today. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 Eastern here on Game Plan. If you take anything away from today's show, like your job, love your wife.